All righty. All righty. Can you all hear me? We good to go? We good to go? Let's see. Let's let everyone roll in. Want to make sure this is working. Should be working. All right. Let me know if you guys can see me. Can you hear me? Does everything sound good? Does it look good? We'll give everyone a few more opportunities to roll in here. Just give me a second. Don't want anyone to miss out. All right. I got to get this stuff teed up, ready to go. We'll give everyone an opportunity to get in here so that they don't miss anything. Give me a second. All right. Looks good. Sounds good. You guys can hear me? All right. That's good. That's good. Let's let everyone come on in. And then I will get started. Got to make sure we're rolling here. Let me get resituated. All right, guys. As always, it is a pleasure to have you guys all here tonight. You guys are obviously what makes this fun to do. And we've got a big topic to talk about today. And that is obviously what is going on with Venezuela. Why have we not hit them yet? When will we hit them? All of that stuff and much, much more. So I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to keep rolling in here. Let me make sure I've got everything set up so we don't miss anything. All right. All right. What do we got coming in? What do we got coming in? Looks like we got about 300 people here right now. I appreciate that. Guys, I really want to make this episode more of a Q&A than anything else because I know people have a lot of questions. There's a couple things we're going to go through, but I know people are anxious. They're seeing a ton of different stuff in the news. I'm seeing a ton of different stuff in the news. We just saw today that we went and breached we flew into the Gulf of Venezuela. That is the closest American fighter jets have gotten to Venezuela. We might already have we have a tech issue already. Hold on. I'm going to refresh this. Stick with me. We might have a tech issue. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to forget anything. It looks like we might have a slight tech issue. So I'm going to see here real quick what's going on. Just wait 1 second. All right. Hopefully that resolved whatever the tech issue was. It might be on my end, so I do apologize for that. We've got something weird going on. I think it might be my computer, but here's the goal of tonight. I want you guys to come with as many questions as you can. I'm going to lay out where I see things. And in order to comment on the live stream, you got to be a subscriber. That way we keep all of the people who want to come in here and cause problems. They're not going to be an issue for us. We can just discuss this as adults and figure out what is going on and figure out when will we strike Venezuela, because we've kind of seen a little bit of a lull in what is going on. Now, listen, I am going to be honest with you. I'm reading the news just like you guys are. I'm hearing the news just like you guys are. And I want to make sure we're all 100% on the same page. And in order to do that, we've got to just have a super serious, straightforward conversation. First and foremost, I'm going to get my comments up. So the tech issue on my end is I don't know what is going on right now. If we've got, give me 1 second and see if I do this. If it updates this, because I don't want to miss any of your comments. I don't know what the hell is going on here right now, but you guys comment away. I'm going to do my best to make sure this works for whatever reason, we've got comments that are coming in but aren't showing up. So I'm going to try to get that fixed as we go here so that I don't miss anything you guys are saying. Get your super chats ready, get everything lined up, and I will see what I can do here because the comments aren't exactly working at the moment, and that is pissing me off. So I don't know what the hell is working here and what isn't, but we're going to do our best. We're going to see what we can do. All right. So we have one super chat, right? First off, everyone, please like and subscribe on this video so that we can get it boosted and I can see the comments as they are coming in and I can get figured out what needs to be figured out. So right away, $50 from Traveling Tramps. I really appreciate it. So I actually had this on the list of things we were going to talk about. It says, now that Maria Corina Machado is most likely in Oslo, her family certainly is. I think the Ducks are now in a row. Don't you think her Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech should be tomorrow, should include that Maduro is gone? It's time to make that happen. So thank you very much for the $50. I very much appreciate it. This is a key point. And I wanted to make this clear because I think it's ultra important. This is the woman who is the head of the opposition in Venezuela. This is the woman who is responsible for leading the charge to get rid of Nicolás Maduro. So she is backed by the United States of America. She is backed by President Donald Trump. She is backed by the democracy-loving, freedom-loving members of Venezuela. That is huge. That is key because what we have right now, and I got to check this. I do apologize. If this crashes out, I don't know what is going on, but your comments are incredibly delayed, and I can't even see some of them, I don't think. So I want to just make sure I am not missing anything. So again, just stick with me here. So yes, is getting her out of the comments, is getting her now that she's in Norway, a major deal because they will try to take her out without question. Maduro absolutely will try to kill this woman. There's no question about it. 100% true. 100% not debatable. Maduro wants this woman dead. Now, she is out of the country. There have been reports that she was removed and evacuated from the country with United States assistance, with assistance from our government. That has not been confirmed. It has not been confirmed that we did it. I've seen some reports they got her a diplomatic passport to get out. I've seen other reports that we don't really know whether or not that is the case. Can you guys see the super chat on the screen right now? Can you see that? Let me know if you can see that or not, because I want to make sure anyone who does that gets to see what is on there. This woman needs to be protected at all costs because when Maduro falls, she is going to be the person who replaces her. That is the fact of the matter. And if Maduro can kill her, then he already scores a major victory without even having to do really anything against the U.S. He scores a major victory by taking out his number one opponent in Venezuela. And that cannot be discounted. So the fact of the matter is that we are in a situation where Maria Machado, who again is backed by the U.S., has disappeared. She won the Nobel Peace Prize. The belief is she was going to go to Oslo. Now, they were going to have a press conference with her, and that press conference was then canceled. So that in and of itself, also very interesting. But the press conference was canceled with Maria Machado. And why? Your guess is as good as mine. I do not have a good answer for you whatsoever, not even a little bit. But what I do know is that we cannot let this woman fall. We cannot let her die. That is the fact of the matter. And so right now we are in a situation where her whereabouts are unknown. It is believed she's to be under U.S. protection, and we know her family has made it out of Venezuela. So that is a major part of this. So thank you very much for the $50 super chat. I do not know if they're going to bomb during her speech. So I see one person commented, I wish I could put this on the screen, but I don't think it's going to let me. Heard some news from Caracas that Maria hidden inside the U.S. Embassy the whole time. I don't know where the F she's at, Oslo or not. Keep in mind, guys, we don't keep our embassy in Caracas staffed. It's an empty building. So I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised if that were the case. Let me get something a check here. Let me make sure I can let me make sure I'm getting this updated. I don't know if that's true. Couldn't tell you if that's true, but I would be stunned because why would she be hiding in an empty building, right? That wouldn't make a lot of sense at all. So I'm going to just kind of read some of your comments as we get started here. And I'm going to play a video right now where I'm going to show you first the fighter jets that were over the Gulf of Venezuela today. Let me throw this up on the screen for you. So let me put this up there for you. Can you guys see that on the screen? So what you're looking at there is fighter jets that went into the Gulf of Venezuela, which is the closest we have been to Venezuelan airspace. Now, why is this important? This is important because Venezuela has declared that this is their airspace. They have declared that this is what they control. And this, in their mind, is a violation of Venezuelan airspace. The United States completely disagrees. We view this as international airspace outside of the coastal areas, which I will show you on the screen here shortly. I'm keeping going back, checking all the comments to make sure I'm not missing anything. So this right here is what happened today. Multiple F-18s, American F-18s, American fighter jets flew into Venezuelan airspace and were able to get there. I don't know what is going on with this chat. I do apologize, guys. This is, trust me when I say, pissing me off more than it's pissing you off. So this is where they went, and this is the biggest escalation the United States has done so far today, to date, by flying fighter jets right into Venezuelan airspace. That's a pretty big deal. In fact, that's a huge, huge, huge deal. And why is it a huge deal? Because it shows that we are able to fly right into Venezuelan airspace, and there is nothing they can do about it. Nothing they can do about it at all. And I'm getting a notification here. So I'm going to do a poll here for you all. Let me know if it shows up in the comments. We'll say, will America bomb by end of December? So I just put a poll for you guys in the comments. You guys let me know if the poll is showing up. So we've got some votes coming in. Please make sure to, again, like and subscribe to the video. For whatever reason, guys, I cannot see any comments other than super chats right now. I'm on StreamYard. It's not working. I don't know what to tell you. I can put super chats up on the screen, I think, but I honestly don't know. But I can't see any other comments that I can put on. So if you want to say something for now until I can figure out how to get this fixed, I am going to have to go with super chats alone. Let me see if I check this. So, all right. So I don't know. I'm doing my best here. So let me put this up on the screen for you. Do we have audio? Can you guys hear me? All right, guys, we're going to have to restart this. I don't think this is working at all. Pull up. Okay, sorry guys. I'm trying to troubleshoot this the best I can. And what we have right now, all right, we're going to try to reset this one time. Stay on the stream because I can't interact with you guys at all right now, which is a huge, huge, huge problem. So just stick with me. We're going to get this figured out. I'm going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys. I apologize. I truly do not know what is going on right now. So we are going to have to just do it this way. I'm going to put this image back on. I can read your chats on the screen. I'm not able to put them up on the screen at the moment. So just send me the chats. I will read them out to everybody. If there's any issues, I will do my best to get it fixed. For whatever reason, StreamYard has a problem, but let's just stick to what we got. So what you see here right now on the screen, those are the borders in the Gulf of Venezuela that the U.S. actually recognizes, that we actually say, yes, this is Venezuelan territory. Yes, we recognize this as Venezuelan territory, and our jets did not violate that. So we stuck in there. We looked at what we had, and then we went in that bubble that you see between the red bars. So we got another super chat for $10. Thank you very much. It says Gang of Eight convened in DC today. Most likely the final situation updates to the top politicians before a strike on Venezuela might happen tonight. Homies 918 for $10. Thank you very much. So what I want to talk about in large part here is, why has this not happened yet? And if it had, I mean, for all we know, it might happen right in the middle of this, stream. So right now we've got 66 votes. Let me click the poll. So we've got 66% of you are voting yes, we will bomb Venezuela by the end of December. The rest of you we've got 34% no, 66% are saying yes, that we will. So keep your chats coming. I'm going to read them to you. I wish I could show them to you, but it just is not working at the moment for whatever reason that might be. And make sure to please like the video as well. So let me get the next thing teed up for you here. This is President Donald Trump announcing that Maduro's days are numbered. Share this on the screen. President Trump spoke with Politico. This video was released just hours before. All right. Hey, comments work. Oh my gosh. Thank you to the high heavens. It is finally working. It is finally working. Thank the Lord. Oh my gosh. So let me just see if everyone's in here now. Guys, comments are working. We are rolling full steam ahead, just like the United States against Maduro. I have no idea what is going on. All right, let's listen to Trump right now. He is going to talk about how Maduro's days are
down
numbered.
the border
No,
now.
he sent a lot of these people. He also sends in a lot of drugs. So we'll see how it all works out.
So
But
do you
I
want
can't talk about
So
strategy.
how far would you go to take Maduro out of office?
I don't want to say that,
But you want to see him out?
his days are numbered.
Can you rule out an American ground invasion?
I don't want to rule in or out. I don't talk about it. Why would I talk to you?
So President Trump in this video says that Maduro's days are numbered, but he's not going to rule out or tell the plan for what is going on in Venezuela. And that's smart. So someone here is saying, I think the Russians were hacking you. Quite possible. The Russians are not big fans of mine. So guys, let's have fun with it. Let's get active in the comments. Now I can put you guys on screen. The viewers are going back up. Technical difficulties. Maybe it was the Russians. Maybe it was the Chinese. Maybe it was the Venezuelans. I mean, maybe Maduro's people are trying to make sure all of you cannot watch this stream. But now that we're back, we're going to have a ton of fun with it. Get your chats lined up. Get your questions lined up. We are full steam ahead like a B-2 stealth bomber. Get your super chats in. Thank you very much. So here we go. It says the U.S. had to get Maria out. Maduro and these guys are soulless narcs. They would have killed her if a bomb dropped anywhere. 100% true. And that's what we talked about. So Maria Machado is out of the country. She has been whisked away by the United States. We do not know where she is at this moment. We do not know the location she's being kept in, but she is safe and she is being hidden, and she is supposed to be getting the Nobel Peace Prize in a public ceremony, I believe, tomorrow. She was going to do a press conference today, and it got canceled out of security concerns. So there are major things. So Robert, thank you. Robert is a member of the channel. Thank you very much. I love everyone who shows support. Says they can't stop the United States and the people voices. Keep going, David. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. So right now, after 262 votes, 68% vote yes on bombing before the end of the month. Here's something I wanted to make a point of that I think is worth a discussion. Get active in the comments. Do we all remember the lead up to the Iraq War? Do we all remember how that played out? So the Iraq War started in March of 2003, but the buildup started in 2002. And they did all these training exercises, all these flights, all this stuff so that the Iraqis might not really know when it was go time. And then on March 20th, officially, although as you guys know, and as I've talked about before, the first American forces did not cross into Iraq on March 20th. They actually secretly crossed into Iraq on March 19th. They went covertly to start smashing targets behind enemy lines. So we did all this deception. We did all this smoke and mirrors before the Iraq War. And then one day, what could have looked like another smoke and mirrors operation, it was actually go time. And the Iraqis were caught off guard, steamrolled. Fighter jets finally crossed over the border, started laying hate out on the enemy, and we crushed one of the biggest militaries on the planet. So here we go. It says, David, we flew non-stealth fighters right up to the door, knocked, waiting for someone to answer, but no Maduro to see. What a chicken shit. This comes from Eagles fan Clark. Thank you very much. That's exactly right. The F-18 is not a stealth platform. It's not stealthy at all. It carries a ton of firepower on it. It's a great, great, great plane, but it's not stealthy. We wanted the Venezuelans to see it. We wanted Maduro to know it was coming. We wanted the Maduro criminal regime to know our fighter jets were there. And what happened? They didn't do a damn thing about it. We flew into what they considered sovereign restricted airspace, the Gulf of Venezuela, which essentially has an opening between two peninsulas. Colombia comes up here a little bit. I'll put this back on the screen. So that red box again is where our fighter jets flew. And we went right up to their coast, right outside what we recognize as their sovereign territory. And then they didn't do anything. They didn't scramble jets. They didn't open fire at our planes. We pretty much gave them the middle finger at point blank range, and the Venezuelan regime, Maduro, because we don't have any problem with the good people of Venezuela. We support the good people of Venezuela. Our problem is with the regime of Nicolás Maduro. And his regime, with fighter jets on his front door, did nothing. Not a thing. So that goes to prove that they're all talk and no action whatsoever. And he knows, push comes to shove, that we are going to steamroll him. So someone says this is about Cuba, not Venezuela. Save this comment. Well, Cuba's in big trouble if Venezuela goes down. Huge trouble, because they rely on Venezuelan resources such as oil to prop up their regime, to prop up their economy. That's why they've given Maduro bodyguards and advisors and intelligence, because they know if Maduro goes down, who's next? What's the next domino to fall? Probably Cuba. Very likely. So we'll go. So right now we got the poll, 326 votes. 66% said we will bomb by the end of December. Let me get another poll for you guys going here. We'll get a poll. Do you support? So we'll make this one a little broader. So we got, do you support removing Maduro? Let me know. We just got the pull up. So we got someone saying it's a new Vietnam. Totally disagree. Totally disagree. The people of Venezuela have no interest in dying for Maduro. We know that. That's not going to happen. Vietnam was brutal, and it was backed by the Russians, the Chinese. You had the North Vietnamese army. You had the Viet Cong. You had a well-organized military, paramilitary, massive world powers, specifically the Soviet Union backing them. Totally different situation. And I would also say the United States didn't go all the way in Vietnam. We could have flooded in way more resources. We didn't want to do it. We didn't lose that war in sense of combat. We lost that war in sense of political will. So no, that is not a new Vietnam. We got a new super chat. $2 from, what is that? 000P. Love the channel. 7076. God bless our troops. Thank you very much. So let's go back to the Iraq. Let's go back to the Iraq situation quickly. When we hit Iraq, we didn't make it clear what day it was going to happen. We gave a rough time window, and we said if they don't leave, if the Saddam Hussein regime doesn't leave, we're coming in. I just showed you a video of President Donald Trump saying Maduro's days are numbered. So a lot of people are critical because they're like, well, every day you say it's getting hotter and hotter, but when is it going to happen? Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, because I know we got some women watching this too. They're not going to tell people down to the second when it's going to happen. It could happen literally any day. That's how this works. So one of these days, you're going to see a lot of air power moving. You're going to see a lot of movement in the sky. There you go. And then one of the days they're going to cross in and they are going to unload on these people, on the Maduro regime. So Zealous Fox says, so you hate Putin, but want Russia and China and Hezbollah to have a forward operating base in your backyard. That's a good point. People who talk all this trash about Putin in Ukraine, which is more than justified because what's going on there is terrible. Then you want Putin to have influence in our hemisphere. You want it. You know, there's Russian troops in Venezuela, right? They have troops in Venezuela, advisors. They give Venezuela air defense systems. No way. No way. This is a great way to knife Russia as well. And we should 100% take it. Here we go. If Maduro is allowed to stay in power, the U.S. is looking at another potential nuclear threat in the Western Hemisphere, just 500 miles from U.S. territory, Puerto Rico. Russia has already floated. Russian officials have already floated giving Venezuela nukes, giving them nuke missiles. Now, do I think they actually would do it? Probably not, but they've threatened to do it, and we should take them at their word. If they want to threaten us, then why would we be dumb enough to not take them at their word? So we've got 197 votes in the poll, 88% vote for Maduro to go. Guys, please make sure, we just crossed 900 concurrent viewers. Please make sure to like the video, and then at the bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That is where you can find me on social media, where I share a lot of this stuff. So please look out there as well. Maduro does not fear Trump. Well, he should fear Trump. He should fear any American president, because the American military has the ability to crush his criminal regime. Keep in mind, we have a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head. $50 million on Maduro's head. If Maduro doesn't fear the United States of America, then he's a complete and total dumbass, for lack of a better term. There is no way to say it other than that. What do we got here? We shouldn't deplete our ordnance. We have more than enough ordnance to take care of Venezuela without depleting anything. That's a great thing to be concerned about, because war with China is probably 2 to 5 years away, according to the military estimates. But we've got enough to make sure that we can handle that as well. That would be a great video topic. We got another super chat. I bet you that I assume Machado is already on the Ocean Trader. Actually, I'm never going to pass up an opportunity to talk about the Ocean Trader. Thank you for the $5. Means a lot. This isn't free. I do have to pay for this. StreamYard, the streaming software that was not working at the beginning, is rather expensive. So I'm going to put this up on the screen for y'all. So for those of you who don't know, what this comment is referring to is the MV Ocean Trader, which is this ship right here, this big white one in the background. It is a Black Ops JSOC ship that carries Tier 1 operators, Delta Force SEAL Team 6, and it is missing somewhere in the Caribbean. It hasn't been spotted, I think, in about a month. I think the last time we knew where it was November 11th. And the entire point of this ship is it is disguised as a cargo ship, but it can fly helicopters off of it, boats off of it. You can get in, get out of where you want to go real fast, crash the target, smash the target. This boat is going to be pivotal in the fight against the Maduro regime. And we have had reports already that there are SEAL Team 6 operators inside Venezuela. Where do you think they flew in from clandestinely? I'm not saying they came from the Ocean Trader. Very possible they did come from the Ocean Trader, though. Would not surprise me at all, one bit. All right. So let's see some more comments on the screen. I just saw a good one I wanted to put up. So this guy is from Venezuela. He's been in the previous. Toby C, can't wait for my dictator to be removed. It is going to be great when Maduro is gone. It is going to be great when Maduro is gone. And again, a lot of people are like, why do we keep talking about this? Why hasn't it happened yet? And as I'm trying to explain here, and I know we're kind of all over the place given some tech issues, but it hasn't happened yet. Number one, we're applying maximum pressure. We are trying to make sure that the Venezuelan regime, the Maduro regime, understands the stakes. Now, Maduro has asked for 200 million in complete immunity for all of his people in order to leave. Trump told him no. That doesn't leave us many options. That means that we've got to rock and roll, but I can't give you the date. They did just brief the most senior levels of Congress on Venezuela. And this is actually a great question. I think Trump will use the boat strike investigation to pack up and leave the Caribbean. We just crossed 1,000 concurrents. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm fearful of this. I made a video about this just a few days ago. I talked about this. I think that the boat investigation, which to me is a hoax, is being put together in order to pressure Trump, indeed, to leave the Caribbean. I think that is what the Democrats and the media are scheming up. They want to use the boat strike investigation to apply pressure to Trump to get us to pull out. And they're talking about double taps and war crimes and all this stuff, but they're not really showing us much evidence. The Washington Post report has been thoroughly debunked by none other than the New York Times. The New York Times obviously is not a pro-Trump outlet by any stretch of the imagination, not even a little bit. And the New York Times even came out and said, yeah, this is complete nonsense. All right, so in the poll for removing Maduro, we've got 296 votes, and 90% want him gone. Only 10% want him to stay. I'd be curious who the 10% are who want him to stay. But let's keep the questions coming. Super chats obviously get priority. So it says, we're in Venezuela sending weapons to Ukraine, and we're supposed to have plenty for China. The weapons we're sending to Ukraine are pretty much useless in a war against China. A war against China is going to be fought mostly on the water. That's where it's going to be. The weapons we use on the water aren't the weapons we use on land. What we're giving Ukraine, for the most part, is a lot of our older stockpile, stuff that we don't really use anymore, we don't really need anymore. So I would not be that worried about that. You guys got to understand the weapons our U.S. military has that the public doesn't even know about are incredible. And trust me when I say they war plan this stuff all the time. And if we were really in that kind of a crunch for weapons, I can promise you we would not be giving them to fight Venezuela, and we would not be giving them to Ukraine either. The U.S. military and the Pentagon always look out for themselves, as they should at the end of the day. The fact is we are ready to go with our most advanced weapons, which we do not even need to use here. It says Russia and Venezuela, $5, zero OOP, $5. Russia and Venezuela signed a strategic oil investment between each other in November 2025. Taking Maduro out will help the fight against the Russians. Yes, absolutely. I've talked about this before. Venezuela and Cuba are Russia's lone allies in our hemisphere. They are the only countries that Russia can lean on in our hemisphere. So if you want Russia kicked out of our hemisphere, you've got to get rid of Venezuela, because Venezuela is the oil-rich nation. And Maduro is best friends with Putin. And he's very close with the Chinese, and he's very close with the Iranians. This has much more to do about that than it does drugs. A lot more to do about that. This is our backyard. This is our neighborhood. This is where we live. We're the global superpower. We're certainly not going to let foreign powers come into our neighborhood and exert any kind of influence. So if you want to see Putin get absolutely destroyed, this is a great way to do it. This is a great way to help the pressure stay on Putin. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see what we got. So Killer Rob says, yeah, we still have enough. I assume he's talking about the weapons. Yes, we have more than enough weapons. The United States military generally stockpiles enough weapons to fight two major wars at the same time. Now, there is a serious conversation to be had about our industrial base needing to be reinvigorated and making sure that our shipyards are reinvigorated so that we can continue to pump out supplies as necessary. But again, we war plan for this. We scheme for this. We are always ready for this. And I believe that it's not something we generally have to worry about, having a shortage of weapons. But listen, I could be wrong. So here we go. Craig says, using fast jets and bombers to invade airspace forces, use of costly aircraft to be scrambled. Could they just be wearing down the readiness and resources by flexing into airspace, posing as a threat? You're kind of on to something there. There's actually a different thing they're doing. So F-18s and a bunch of other aircraft are equipped with technology that can essentially map enemy air defense systems when they paint them, when they go active. So what we can do is we can send in jets. We can paint the entire air defense network of Venezuela. That's why we went down this side now, probably to come get a look. I'll put this back up on the screen for y'all. Just give me a second. I'll throw this up for you. This is probably why we did this here, so that we could get a good look at all the air defenses on the coast in the Gulf of Venezuela. So the Venezuelans are throwing a fit about this. They're going to try to claim we violated their airspace. We say it's not their airspace, but this is no doubt the clearest provocation we've had so far. So what these fighter jets and other planes are doing, they're flying down, they're mapping all of Venezuela's air defenses, and then they are putting together target packages. You probably are not going to hit the air defenses with fighter jets. You could. You have suppression of enemy air defenses, SEAD. We did that in Iran with F-35s, F-22s, and F-18s. But what you're probably going to do is hit them with cruise missiles. Open up the skies completely, and then move in and hit them with your fighter jets and your bombers. Let's see what we got here. This says the U.S. war plans 40 years ahead, 100% true. We got a lot of comments coming in. We might have to go to super chats for a little bit. This guy says that this is all an intimidation act, but it did not work. You don't bring this much firepower around the globe just to intimidate someone. You might bring a battleship or a destroyer or two, but you're not going to bring an aircraft carrier, all these bomber flights. You're not doing that just for intimidation. You're doing that to set the table. You're doing that to set the table for a massive attack. All right. Matt Dog says China and Russia combined would stand zero chance against NATO. We would not be alone. That is true. They might have a bunch of numbers. They might have a lot of people. But in terms of logistics, the logistics win wars, folks. And in terms of logistics, air superiority, quality of weapons, intelligence, NATO, the United States, add in Japan, South Korea, Australia, all of those countries combined, they would wipe the floor, assuming nukes don't get launched. If nukes get launched, the world's over anyways. You'll never see another episode of this show because we'll all be dead. All right, what do we got? We got Eagles fan Clark. He is a member of the channel. Thank you very much. Would Maduro be stupid enough to shoot a missile at one of our warships? If he did, we would flatten whatever bunker he was in immediately, and hopefully our warship defenses would hold, and we would be able to shoot that missile down. If he's that dumb, it'll be the last thing he ever does on this planet. Do you think where our aircraft is today is where our ships will be next? Joe Haynes, also a member of the channel. Thank you very much. Very possible. Why not? Why wouldn't we send our ships there? The USS Gettysburg is so close to the Venezuelan coast. People in Venezuela are pulling their phones out and filming it. They can literally see it. It is that close to the Venezuelan coast. So it's very, very, very possible. Says from Biff Malibu, member of the channel. Thank you very much, guys. If you want to be a member of the channel, you can find the link in the video description, I believe, or hit join under the video. Logistics fail are the lifeblood of any military. That's the main reason Russia's blitzkrieg failed. That's correct. Russia's logistical lines broke down at the start of the Ukraine war, and then they couldn't resupply and fuel their troops. And that allowed Ukraine to buy time, to get weapons, to draw the battle lines where they are now. What do we got here? It says Trump is going in. He just wants the invasion to be perfect. Could be. Could be. Won't be enough. Iran had way more defense. It proved useless. That's a great point. Iran had way more advanced air defense systems than Venezuela does. How'd that work out for them? Their nuke sites got flattened. We flew B-2 bombers escorted by fighter jets straight into the heart of Iran and blew up an underground, under a mountain, uranium enrichment facility at Fordo with a total of 12 30,000-pound bunker busters. They didn't get a shot off. We flew, I think they said a total of at least 75 planes entered Iranian airspace, and they did not get a shot off at us with way more sophisticated and advanced air defense systems than what the Venezuelans have. So if the Iranians couldn't get a shot off, how are the Venezuelans with, I'm going to show you the air defense systems that the Venezuelans have. Put this on the screen for you. So this is one example of the air defense systems the Venezuelans have. The Buk 2 looks like this. Guess how old this thing is? Went into service in 1980. 1980. It is currently 2025. So let's do some quick math. That's 45 years ago. 45. They are going to shoot 45-year-old air defense systems. These bad boys right here at F-22s and F-35s and B-21s and B-2s. I find that very, very hard to believe. We've got Travis Walton just joined, became a member of the channel. Thank you very much. Says USS Gettysburg last seen a few kilometers in Los Roques. I believe I'm pronouncing that. Did you get the screen grabs I sent of the 2 flights around the time those 2 F-18s were in the area? If you sent them on Instagram, I probably did see them. I've been following Flight Tracker a lot. Let's see what we got on Flight Tracker right now. So I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. Or maybe I can just share my screen. So right now, the skies of Venezuela are fairly... This is the skies of Venezuela at this moment. A total of only 2 planes are in the air. Do we know where these planes are going? I think this might be Maduro's. This might be Maduro's presidential plane. It's flying low and very, very slow to an unknown location. Let's see what the other one is. This one is also flying to an unknown location, but came from Bogota. So those are the only 2 planes in the skies of Venezuela as of literally while we are filming this. Travis Walton says, how long do you think it will take us to take control of Venezuela? Not long. Not long at all. They don't have any real defense. They have maybe a couple thousand troops loyal to Maduro. The population is not going to fight. Their air defenses will be obliterated before the United States even has to move in. I don't think it'll take long at all. I think you're talking about a matter of days for the government to fall. So we've got someone saying the skies less than a couple hours. The land might take a day or 2 to get everything set up, etc. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I don't think it's going to take long at all. All right, someone said they resent them to my Instagram. I'm going to check those. Let's see what we got here. So it looks like we got private jets on the move. Yes, I see the screenshots you now just sent me. Looks like we had a lot of jet movement, a lot of private jet movement. Yeah, I don't know where those planes are going. They might be making a run for it. They're smart. All right, what are we going? We had operational control of the Iraqi government in less than 100 days. If I remember, let me check. Let's see how long it took. How long take for? How long did it take Baghdad to fall? So it says it roughly 22 days. So we entered the country in March 20th, officially shock and awe. By April 5th, U.S. troops had secured major parts of Baghdad. By April 9th, Baghdad had fallen. So at the time, Iraq had one of the most powerful militaries in the world, and the whole country fell, or the government fell, in a matter of weeks. And we controlled the capital in a matter of weeks, fighting one of the most powerful militaries in the world at the time. So Venezuela's military isn't anywhere near as powerful. So I think you can safely assume. I don't know. I think it was a government-controlled plane, but I honestly don't know. Have most Americans evacuated Venezuela? So yes, for those of you who didn't see this, President Trump came out and said he wanted all. Is something going on? I'm getting reports. Something's going on. Hang tight. Let me make sure that I can vet this information. Well, Trump's in the middle of giving a speech, so I doubt we're bombing while he is at a public appearance. So I don't think we bombed. I don't think we have bombed as of right now. So yes, President Trump told all the Americans to get out of Venezuela, leave Venezuela while you still can, because once the bombs start falling, number one, they're probably going to get taken hostage, and two, there is no way to guarantee their safe way out. Zealous Fox says you'd have to be an idiot to be on vacation there right now. Yeah, you would. I think they meant more Americans who might live there. I think they meant Americans who might actually live there as dual citizens. All right, keep the questions coming. Let's see what we got. All right, so James H. Is it Ergbert? H.E. Burt. Two of the aircraft, one was a member of Venezuela's intelligence. The second one belonged to the Mexican Air Force. The second one I've seen several times in the area. So maybe Venezuelan intel is scrambling to get out of the way. We have maybe Venezuelan, we have Mexican military that is fleeing the country. I just realized I don't think I have my cell phone in here. Hopefully I can get that quickly. All right. Guys, if you haven't already liked the video, please do. It says things are going as planned for the U.S. and the Netherlands, and Venezuela only bluffs. For those of you who don't know, the Netherlands control Curaçao. That's why you see Netherlands have helicopters, planes, naval ships. That is why they are there, because they control the island of Curaçao. So I've got my phone. If we have any breaking updates, I'm going to check them on my phone in case bombs start dropping at any point in time. All right, what else do we got? Thoughts on EU trying to sabotage Ukraine peace deal? I haven't read the latest updates on that. I wouldn't be shocked. I know the Europeans and the U.S. are starting to get more aligned on what we want, and the Russians are not happy about that. But I frankly also don't care what the Russians think. The Russians are a huge ally of Maduro. They don't want to help us there. Why should we help them in Ukraine? So it says bombs ain't going to be dropping with Trump speaking live. I just said that. I don't think he's going to be bombing while the bombs or while he's speaking live. Would seem very unlikely, but I get information, I get text. I always got to check them out. Give me 1 second. So I got to check them out. I don't know for sure. Always getting new information in. What are your thoughts on the Cambodia war? The videos were nuts. The videos were nuts. I made a video about that the other day. I don't really know who, like, I can't say with complete certainty whose side we should be on, or whether or not we should be on anyone's side. The videos were nuts, though. I just saw another one of a fighter jet coming in and rocking and rolling. All right, what do we got here? Trying to see what we got coming in. David, are you aware of the 2 Trinidadians kidnapped yesterday on Manos Island and most likely taken to Venezuela? I did see that video. I cannot show that video on YouTube due to content restrictions, but yeah, I can describe it. One guy was holding a grenade to their neck. Doesn't seem too smart to me, holding a grenade to someone's neck. Seems like a great way to not just unalive them, but blow your hand up at a minimum in the process. Why do you not, I think they're saying, why do you not see any of this on the news channel? Because I'm way ahead of the news. I do way more research than the news does. I read way more than the news does. Your mainstream news outlets are trash when it comes to stuff like this. They are way behind what's going on. They're not even close. All right. Is someone being an idiot in the comments? Do I got to get rid of someone? Let me know if there's someone I got to get rid of. And I'm happy to bust out the sniper fingers. All right. Also, I wanted to bring this up. We're going to get back to Venezuela, but real quick. Did you guys see that Russia and China flew bombers near South Korea? And they scrambled jets, fighter jets. So here we go. So it says 2 Chinese and 7 military aircraft, Russian military aircraft, including long-range bombers and fighter jets, entered South Korea's air defense identification zone this morning at around 10 a.m. over the waters to the south and east of the Korean Peninsula. While operating over the Sea of Japan, fighters with the Republic of Korea Air Force were scrambled in response to the intrusion, the first incident to have occurred since November 2024. And the bombers, they flew 2 Russian long-range strategic bombers, and they flew 2 Chinese long-range strategic bombers off the coast of South Korea in a joint military exercise. And the South Koreans sent up a bunch of fighter jets to get them the hell out of there. This just goes to show that China and Russia are going to continue to work hand in hand to try to screw over the United States of America. And we're just not going to tolerate that. We're just not going to tolerate that. If someone's being an idiot in the comments, just let me know and I will have no problem getting rid of them. So what do you guys think about China and Russia flying bombers off the coast of South Korea? They also, Chinese fighter jets just locked on to some Japanese fighter jets a few days ago, did not fire missiles at them, but did get locked on to engage Japanese fighter jets. Another huge provocation. So people think that, you know, the world is heating up, folks. The world is heating up in a big, big, big way. All right. China is scared of Japan. The new Japan prime minister said Japan will invade China if China goes into Taiwan. Yes, that is why they locked on to a couple Japanese fighter jets. So Japan's new prime minister, I believe it is her last name is Takachi. She is a very anti-Chinese leader. And she came out and said, if China goes into Taiwan, we will team up with Asia and the United States, and we will attack China. And then I think she deployed a bunch of missiles to island chains in the region, making it clear that she's not playing games. She is willing to bomb China in the event they invade Taiwan. China responds by going after Japanese fighter jets and now flying bombers off the coast of South Korea. Says, I think a lot of countries will help Taiwan if China attacks. Eagles fan Clark, a member of the channel, thank you very much. 100%. I think so. I think so. They absolutely will. And the United States will probably be there leading the way. So it says maybe they are trying to copy what we are doing in Venezuela. They feel if we can, but also they are wanting to map out Taiwan. So, well, they've been flying fighter jets and bombers around Taiwan forever. The difference is flying them next to South Korea. South Korea is a hardcore U.S. ally. Japan, hardcore U.S. ally. South Korea has a great military. Japan has a small but very technologically advanced military, both of whom are backed by the United States. Picking a fight with South Korea or Japan means you're picking a fight with the United States. And two of the most sophisticated militaries on the face of the earth. You're probably also picking a fight with Australia in the course of that action. Venezuela, China, and Russia almost certainly are not coming to Venezuela's defense. So I wouldn't say it's the same at all, because if it kicks off in Asia, those countries have the ability to inflict serious damage on China, as to where the Chinese do not really have the ability to inflict that kind of damage on the Venezuelans do not have the ability to inflict that kind of damage on the U.S. Best thing for America is to pressure the Europeans to pay for their security and enforce the Monroe Doctrine. This comes from no one, JN3JP. Can I get a Go Hawks? Is that Go Hawks as in the Iowa Hawks? I'm engaged to a former Iowa athlete. Before she went pro, she played at Iowa. Yes, I'm engaged to a former pro athlete. That is a true story. I wonder why Japan is such good friends. Yeah, because we dominated them in World War II and then turned them into a country that was functional and loved us. And they're a very economic powerhouse. Japan could melt down the power plant. This comes from Mency, MENYXCI. Japan could melt down the power plants, reactors out in China. And when the lights out, the party, big in rumors, has it Z freak out when he is. I don't really know what you're trying to say there. Maybe a couple grammar mistakes, but no big deal. China would be foolish to pick a war with the United States of America. Says today a U.S. Air Force private jet came into Trinidad. I don't know. Is that true? If that's true, that's pretty big news. I'll look into that. We got homie. China can barely win over Taiwan. If they seek a three-front war with South Korea and Japan, they will lose. World's fifth and strongest militaries, respectively. That's from homies 918 for $10. Yes, exactly. China looks tough on paper, and they got a lot of troops. They got a lot of naval ships. They got a lot of planes. Here's what they don't have: battle experience. The United States has been fighting consistent combat since 2001, and we've been expanding our arsenal, expanding our capabilities, expanding the tools in the toolbox, and we know our stuff works. We know our tools work. Can we say the same about China? Do we know that China, all their stuff works? They've never tested it in a real world theater. They've got their aircraft carrier, their new one. We have no idea how good that thing is, because they've never, ever had to put it up against a first-rate military. So they're saying China, unvaxxed Chad, zero logistical tactics. Yeah, again, China is big on paper. They're huge on paper. We have no idea if any of that's going to work in real life. We know the United States of America, we know our stuff's going to work in real life. Why? Because we've seen it work time and time again. And our military is the best military in the history of the world. And anyone who says there's a military out there more powerful than ours, I would ask you, what military has more stealth bombers? What military has more stealth fighters? What military has better special operations? What military has more aircraft carriers? We have the ability to fly 56 hours, I believe is what Midnight Hammer was, round trip, bomb Iran, never even have to land the planes. 14 stealth bombers. They just refuel in the air the whole way. If you think there is a better military than ours, let me know what it is. Let me know a military that can do any of that stuff. All right. Sure I'm not missing anything. We got Midgard 458, $5. Thank you very much. Every dollar counts. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The U.S. has anticipated the China danger. Many bases from World War II in the Pacific have been reactivated, such as Tinian, Yap, and Truk. Absolutely. Guys, one of my closest friends actually does this. We have people, their only job in the military is to plan around the clock for China. That's all they do. And we have people in the military, all they do is plan around the clock for Russia or South America. We have people that draw up war plans all day. That's their only job. So we are always in a mindset of warfare. We are always in a mindset. I'm going to end the Maduro poll, 727 votes, 91 say Maduro. Let's get a new poll going. We'll do who wins in a war. Give me a second. All right, vote in the poll. Vote in the poll. Like the video. Who wins in a war? American allies or China? And guys, if we have time at the end of this, I'm going to we'll switch it to members only. At the very end of the video, we'll do a little members exclusive access. So get in on the membership. So can you imagine 700 million? I believe Chinese is misspelled. So no worries. I misspelled things too. Unemployed if the trade closed entirely. Yeah, the trade routes. If we blockade China, their economy completely collapses. Completely collapses. In a matter like that. More importantly, they import most of their food and fuel. That's why the blockade strategy is one of the best we have against China. If they can't feed their people and they can't fuel their country and fuel their war machine, they have no chance in a battle against the United States of America. All right. We've got Wisconsin guy 4612 became a member of the channel. Where are you from in Wisconsin? Let me know in the comments where you're from in Wisconsin. All righty. Let me see if I got to get the next thing teed up here. I got to see if I can figure out how to do this real quick. Give me 1 second. I see the chats coming in. I'm going to get to them. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna let you guys miss out. All righty. Let's see what we got here. We've got people from the UK watching. Hi, hope everyone is well. Love from across the pond, Birmingham, England. I love the British. Love the British SAS. Love the Brits, British Special Operations. The Brits may be our greatest ally in the world. Great people. You're also a member of the channel. So thank you very, very much. North Korea don't want the heat. Dude, a war against North Korea. It's hard for me to even think about that because of how ridiculous it is. So he says he's from Merton, Wisconsin, small town between Milwaukee and Madison. I grew up kind of near Madison. Not super close to Madison, but kind of close to Madison. This guy says, Wisman 144, the U.S. and its enemies are all being played. Think in all caps. Who are we being played by? Who's playing us? Let me know. $2. So now we're back to Venezuela. I love how we're talking about a bunch of different topics. That's what makes this so much fun with you guys. The day before Maduro goes, communists will go back to guerrilla warfare. Wouldn't the new Venezuelan government need boots on the ground to fight the communists? How many people are going to fight for Maduro? 1,000, 2,000? Not many. And the military assessment is that most of the military will be loyal to Machado or to whoever comes next, whoever the pro-freedom candidate is. It's only the generals you got to worry about. And if the generals look up in the sky and see a B-2 stealth bomber come in and flatten their bunker, they might think twice about trying something stupid. Says trade closed. The Communist Party will be more busy trying to control the massive protests of their own Chinese people than fighting a war. That's the strategy. If we blockade them, the strategy is the Chinese people might rise up to overthrow the Chinese government. Now, can I say with 100% certainty that's going to happen? No, I cannot. And nobody knows for sure. But it could, in theory. All right, what do we got? Most of China's oil has to come through the Macala Strait. Block that, checkmate. That's the whole point of a blockade. That is the entire point of the blockade. This is a great point. I love this. I love this. China is a good military around their homeland. U.S. is a great military worldwide. Nobody wants to mess with us. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the difference. We can project power around the whole globe. The Chinese can project it on their doorstep, and that is it. And that is why people don't mess with the United States of America, because we'll just park an aircraft carrier off your coast and fly F-18s into your airspace whenever we want. We'll park a couple guided missile destroyers with cruise missiles. Do you guys know the cruise missiles that hit Iran came from 400 miles away? 400 miles away. That's how far the cruise missiles in Iran came. So something to definitely think about. All right, what do we got here? I used to drive my grandmother to the cemetery to visit her brother. He passed in Korea. They never found him, so it's just a headstone. One grandfather got 4 Purple Hearts and the other 2 in Korea. That's insane. About the 4 Purple Hearts and the other 2 in Korea. I also had a family member, Connie Guilfoyle, who was shot down and killed in North Korea. He earned 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses in World War II, became a lawyer, then returned when Korea happened to fly again, and was shot down in 1952 and never seen again, presumed dead. So we thank all the Korean War veterans, America's seemingly forgotten war. It was a brutal war, and we should remember everyone that fought and those we lost for sure. Yes, we talked about this. The Mexican Air Force is seemingly evacuating Venezuela as we speak. Maybe they think strikes are coming imminently. I do not know. The Chavistas have united their political party with the narcos. Now the Chavista government is also the narcos government. This just happened. Well, if they're aligned with drug dealers, what has President made clear about narco kingpins, drug dealers, narco terrorists? We're not going to tolerate that trash. We're not going to tolerate that trash. So that just gives us more of a reason to hit them. So in the poll right now, we have 216 votes. Who wins in a war, American allies or China? 93% of you have voted that the United States will win in that war. Keep the questions and comments coming. China certainly won't win. The question is, how much will we be hurting by the end of it? It's a great way to look at it, because China will definitely be able to inflict losses. There's no question about that. China will absolutely be able to inflict losses on the United States in the event of a conflict, even though I do believe we will absolutely win. So they're saying the corrupt system in Venezuela's regime includes narco modus vivendi for all their troops. Even the judicial system is absolutely broken, David. That's scary for us Venezuelans. That's why they got to go. I'm sure it is scary for you Venezuelans. And that's why I always say we stand with the good people of Venezuela. We are with the good people of Venezuela. It's not the good people of Venezuela we have an issue with. It is the criminal outlaw regime of Nicolás Maduro. That is who we have a problem with. That is who we are going to go after. That is who we are going to crush. And if he doesn't step down from power, he's going to learn the hard way that the United States of America doesn't bluff when we say we are coming for something. We don't bluff at all. All right, what do we got? The F-35 and F-16 have changed their weapons to the most advanced technology ones because of the new radars detected in Venezuela. Is that true? Did we change our fighter jet weapon systems because of weapon systems in Venezuela? If we did, why didn't we do that against Iran? Iran has way more advanced weapon systems than Venezuela did, and we kicked them in the mouth, and they had no hope against what was going on. All right. Polls up to 94% believe that the United States would beat China in a war. All right. I just saw a good comment. So this comes from Joey Haynes. The reason we have great weapons is because we spend 5 times more on defense spending each year than any other country. We also have the most advanced tech than any other country. Correct. We have a lot to protect, and we've got a lot of enemies. And when you have a lot of enemies and you have a lot to protect, you better have the world's best military, and it better be the best military by a large margin, and it better be ready to go when it needs to work. You know, that's just the fact of the matter. And so, yes, the U.S. invests a lot of money in our military because we don't have any other choice. The wolves are at the gate. This is a battle of good versus evil. I completely agree. 100%. Let's see what else we got here. What is going on in the comments right now? We got a new member. Thank you very much, Marty J3M. Says Venezuela probably has no idea what's going on in Guyana or Colombia along the borders. I've seen a lot of Black Ops aircraft in those areas and a lot of C-17s and C-130s and smaller cargo logistics. We're moving planes over South America at a stunning rate. So, yes, we are flying in resources. We just like 2 weeks ago had those secret Air Force planes that they use to parachute secret guys out of. That is pretty crazy. A bunch of them one flew into Colombia. It was at a high altitude. It dropped real low, never landed, dropped real low, something came out of it, and then it immediately took off again and left. So we could have parachuted Black Ops teams into the Colombia by the border region, and they could be getting to work right now. Island of Dr. Murray, by this Saturday, my thought it begins, full moon gone, USA, baby. I do think if they're going to bomb, they're going to do it on a weekend because the markets will be closed. You then control some of the market instability, some of the market risk. So we will see. But I do think the weekend is not necessarily this weekend, but a weekend is when it will happen. Hold on. Where's the ghost ship? Nobody knows since November 11th. The last I saw it was November 11th. I actually had someone take a picture of it from like not a satellite photo, went outside and took a picture of it and sent it to me. And that was almost a month ago at this point. And that was the last known sighting of the ghost ship. So the ghost ship has gone dark. It is hiding. It is in an unknown location. Saying China is no paper tiger, never underestimate. Well, we're not underestimating. We're just saying that we have no idea what China's capabilities are because they've never had to fight a war in modern times. So here we go. All righty. I believe after Christmas this will go. What else we got here? Do you think Congress will declare war on Venezuela before the U.S. strikes? Honestly, they could, but I don't think they will. And the reason is the legal justification that the Trump administration is using is that these are terrorist leaders, and under the current laws on the books, you don't need Congress's further authority. Congress has already given that authority. You don't need more of it in order to attack. So I think they will attack without going to ask Congress, but that is a guess on my part. Magard 458, something about the rearmament of Japan. They are rebuilding their fleet of aircraft carriers, with some of them named after the carriers that fought at Midway. China will get their clock clean. We need to let Japan rearm. We absolutely should let Japan rearm, because if we need them in the fight, we need them to be ready. It can't just be the United States. They need to be ready to go. And so I 1000% support the rearmament of Japan. Let them build up their military. They're aligned with the United States. They're backed by the United States. This is not 1941. Let the Japanese build their military up so that when the time comes, the United States of America has them ready to go. Great, great, great point. Thank you very much, Magard. 458 for $10. And it looks like you're a member of the channel. I really appreciate it. This is a good question. Is there training sites in Venezuela for Hamas or any other Iranian-backed militias? If so, is that also a priority for the U.S. military? I don't know about Hamas. I think in the islands to the north, there have been some reports of Hezbollah training there. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if that's confirmed or if that's just reports from the U.S. government. I'm sure we would hit them in short order if the bombing starts. That would be a major, major target. So this is a good one. Did you see these were the drones? So we had spy drones flying right off the Venezuela coast today. Yes, I did see that. We need to focus on rebuilding our manufacturing base. 100% true. We can do many different things at once. Many different things at once. The more manufacturing we have here, the better it is. The less we rely on supply chains from around the world, the better for us. All right, keep the questions coming. The more time passes, the less likely something will happen in Venezuela. Again, let's go back to the Iraq War. We spent a ton of time building up for the Iraq War. We ran deception campaigns. We ran all these drills. We're talking months and months and months and months and months of buildup. So, no, it takes time. So you don't want the enemy to know what is coming. You don't want the enemy to know what is coming. So waiting is not the worst thing. I mean, one of these days I'm going to hop on, because I know a lot of people are like, when is it going to happen? You know, we've talked about all these flights. When are the bombs going to start falling? It can take time. It can take time. So it might not happen today, might not happen tomorrow. It takes time. So no, the longer it goes on does not mean the less likely it is. You got $10 from Brian Schneider. Keep up the great updates throughout the day. I get excited when I see a YouTube notification. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the super chat. That means a ton, means an absolute ton to me. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, folks. That way you don't miss anything. All notifications turned on. And if you haven't already liked this video, go ahead and like this video right now so that you don't miss anything whatsoever. All right. Rumor has it Edmundo and Maria Corina want to come speak to Congress in the following days to ask for support. They'd be sworn in Oslo as president. That would make sense. That'd be a very smart thing to do. That would be a very, very, very smart thing to do. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happens. When the U.S. catches Maduro, do you think you will have the same, I assume you meant fate, not faith, as Saddam Hussein? For those of you who don't know, Saddam Hussein was put on trial by his own people, and then he was given the death sentence, and the death sentence was carried out. My guess is Maduro is not getting taken alive. That would be my guess. So my guess is that if he doesn't flee, he's going down more like Gaddafi did. Again, speculation. We won't know until it happens. But my guess is it would be more of a Gaddafi-style fate. All right, guys, we got an update. I'm going to put this on the screen. We got an update. Hang tight. Update coming in. Update coming in. The skies of Venezuela have gone completely dark. There's not one plane in the air over Venezuela. You can see it right here. All planes in Venezuela have been grounded. The skies are completely closed. What does that mean? We will find out, but the skies of Venezuela are closed. Everything is on the ground. Not one plane is airborne at this time. That's pretty interesting. So we've got this. It says, to all the good people in Venezuela, when things start to happen, stay inside. Do not go out looking around so you do not become an innocent statistic. That is from James Swanson. That is wonderful advice. Thank you, James, so much for saying that. If you're in Venezuela and you're watching this, or your family's in Venezuela and you're going to talk to them, when this starts, please, I'm begging you, tell everyone you know in Venezuela to stay indoors. Do not get curious and go out on the streets. Do not pick up weapons on behalf of the Maduro regime. Stay inside. Stay safe. Stay away from windows. Hunker down. Have some food ready to go. Ride it out. Whatever you do, do not go on the streets. We do not want innocent Venezuelans getting caught in the crossfire. So I beg you, please, 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 if you are Venezuelan, stay inside. Do not come out. What do we got here? So what do we got? How worried are we about international backlash and refugees to U.S. allied Caribbean islands like Aruba? I've seen Venezuela from a restaurant in Aruba. We would have a massive refugee crisis. Well, here's the way I look at it. And here's what my understanding is the assessment of the U.S. government is. Maduro already sent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, his worst people, his gang members, his Tren de Aragua members, into the U.S. Who else is going to come up? Once Maduro is gone, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, people will want to go back to Venezuela because they'll know they'll be able to live in freedom. They know that the worst is behind them. So this is not like Syria, where the dictator stays in power and people are fleeing a brutal, brutal civil war where the dictator Bashar al-Assad is still running the show. That would be a totally different situation for sure, but that's not really what we have going on here. So it's an important point. It's something to talk about, but I would not be that worried about it. If Maria Corina and Edmundo come to speak to Congress, Democrats will lose it. Would love to see the Dems melt down, though, if Congress approves help. Comes from Mency, $4.99. Yeah, there'll be some people who panic, but at the end of the day, it ain't going to matter much at all. What if they use human shields? You know, the tragedy of it is Maduro cares so little about his own people that he very, very easily could do that. That's what evil dictators do. And I'm not saying that to make light of it, but unfortunately, that is a tactic dictators employ. And he's kind of already doing it because he won't go into public unless he's surrounded by women and children. He won't go in public unless there's a bunch of little kids around. Why is he doing that? Because the United States, we do not kill civilians. We do not target civilians. So we are not going to bomb him in public if he's got a bunch of kids around him. A lot of other countries would do it in a heartbeat. Most countries' militaries outside of the United States, Canada, maybe a large chunk of Europe, most other countries' militaries that have seen combat don't care about killing civilians. That's the fact of the matter. And so that's something we should be proud of as Americans. We don't do that, and other countries do. There's always a scale of civilian death the U.S. is willing to accept for a high-value target. This is a fun fact. I'm sure many of you have never heard about the Osama bin Laden raid. And you guys know me. I love talking about the Osama bin Laden raid. Do you know how many innocent civilians the U.S. government was willing to accept in the Osama bin Laden raid in order to conduct it? So, the mission gets briefed and they say, hey, we might lose 5, 6, whatever, 7, 50, 100, 1,000 civilians. Do you know what the number was that the U.S. government was comfortable with of civilian loss of life to get Osama bin Laden? Fire away in the live chat. Let me know the numbers. How many do you think it was? How many civilian deaths do you think the U.S. was willing to accept on a targeted strike of Osama bin Laden? And then I will tell you the number as it was explained to me. So what do we got? How many civilians in the Osama bin Laden raid do you think the United States was willing to accept? So we've got 0. We've got 5. We've got 0, 0, 1, 500, 0, 0, 0, 20, 5,000, 2,000, 420, 0, 40, none, 50, 10,000, 0, 1,000, 10, 3, 8,000. I'm going to tell you the number. The threshold the U.S. government set for a targeted strike against the most wanted man in the world, where they would accept civilian casualties if they had to drop a bomb. This was really more for a bombing more than it was a targeted. The answer, 4. 4. So to kill the most wanted man in the world, the United States of America, if he was in a motorcade or was in a bunch of vehicles rushing to the Pakistani border, the United States was willing to bomb that motorcade and accept an innocent loss of life of 4 people for the guy responsible for 9/11. You think other countries behave that way? Do you think the Russians behave that way? You think the Chinese would behave that way? The Venezuelan regime? Absolutely not. So that tells you all you need to know about the standards that the United States government has. We were willing to accept as collateral damage in a raid or bombing on Osama bin Laden 4 people, not 5. 5 was a no-go. Now, obviously, they could have gotten on the radio real fast and say, hey, we think there's 5. Can we go? And then the president would have to make that decision. So that I've always been proud of that fact. I've always been proud that the United States of America defends innocent life in a way nobody else does. And for the record, when the raid actually happened, no innocent people died. No women and children other than a wife who went for an AK-47 were killed. 0 kids were killed. None of the other wives were killed. It wasn't bin Laden's wife, another wife who was one of the wives of the bodyguard. She was shot after she went for an AK-47 on the first floor of the compound. So not one innocent life was lost on the Osama bin Laden raid. That's a testament to the United States of America. It's also a testament to Tier 1 operators and their ability to shoot in close quarters under extreme pressure. And that's something we should all should be proud of. All right. You got Menksy. This guy's been great all night. Back for another $5. Democrats critique the boats, but they do not mention the U.S. citizens that have been unalived by narcotics from narcos. More than 500,000 people have perished. I think the number is even higher than 500,000. Trump, I think, puts the number at, let me look. I think he said just the year before he returned to office. Let me see if I can find this video from the cabinet meeting. Give me a second. I didn't think we were going to be talking about this. So let me see if I can find it. I might not be able to, but I will see if I can. I think it might be this video. Yeah, it's this video. All right, I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is President Trump talking about the loss of life.
Strikes. Somebody asked me a question about the second strike. I didn't know about the second strike. I didn't know anything about people. I wasn't involved in it. I knew they took out a boat. But I would say this, they had a strike. I hear the gentleman that was in charge of that is extraordinary. He's an extraordinary person. I'll let Pete speak about him. But Pete was satisfied. Pete didn't know about second attack having to do with two people. I guess Pete would have to speak to it. I can say this. I want those boats taken out. And if we have to, we'll attack on land also, just like we attack on sea. And there's very little coming in by sea. I think we've knocked out over 90% of it. There's very little, and I understand that. There's very little. We're saving hundreds of thousands of lives with those pinpoint attacks. It's an amazing thing when you see a boat going along. And, a lot of the press would like to say they're not. You see the boat. They're not maybe drugs. You see these boats. First of all, who has 5 engines on the back of a boat going in weird directions and loaded up with lots of white containers? They're bags or things. No, they've done an amazing job. And Peter's done an amazing job. Pete, you could probably better answer the question.
No, you're spot on, sir. I think you got to start with the basics.
All right, so I might have been wrong. That wasn't it, but I will get it for you here. I apologize. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can't. And if that's okay, we will move on then. But I thought I had it. Might not be able to find it. I apologize. Thought I had it. But anyways, my bad. I will see. I swore it was in that video, but I guess it was not. So that is my bad. All right, keep the questions coming. This has been a ton of fun. Keep them coming. I'm going to throw some more on here. All right. Oh, I did find it. Hold on. All right, so this is it. I'm going to throw this up on the screen for you. This is Trump talking about how many Americans we lose a year to the horrific drug, narcotics, the smugglers, and the people who have brought so much pain to our country.
I already stated my answer quickly.
So remember this. We lost last year. I think it was more than that, but, people don't like saying it because they always said 100,000, 115,000, numbers we've been hearing for years. So we lost last year more than 200,000 people, dead people, ruined families beyond the 200,000. And those 200,000, that family will never be the same. But these people have killed over 200,000 people, actually killed over 200,000 people last year. And those numbers are down.
So President Trump says that 200,000 Americans have been killed by these nasty drug pushers who have come into our country and destroyed it and have done things that frankly are unforgivable. and should be treated as unforgivable. And there is no excuse for not taking the battle to them to protect our communities, to protect our fellow citizens, to protect our neighbors. And if God forbid you have an addict in your family, to protect your own family. And that's just the way it is. And I went to high school. One of my closest friends in high school, I don't really talk about this much. One of my closest friends in high school, great guy. We did tech education together. He was part of the Rube Goldberg team. Smart guy. He lost his life at 19 years old to this poison. 19 years old. That's how old he was. And the poison these people push into our country cost him his life at the age of 19. And that alone, to me, is more than enough reason to bomb the shit out of him. And if you're watching this, it probably means that you agree with me. All right, we got a question here. If there's a terrorist attack in the U.S. that was traced to Venezuela, would that be considered an act of war? 1,000%. 1,000%. It'd be no different than 9/11. If there's a terrorist attack in the U.S. that is credibly linked to Venezuela, that is 1,000% an act of war and will be treated as an act of war. And it should be treated as an act of war. You can't come here and do a terrorist attack on our soil and expect to live. So, absolutely. All right, guys, I got to remind you, if you haven't already liked the video, you haven't already subscribed, please do. We got about 20 minutes left. I heard you mention your experience in journalism. Who were you with? Just curious. So I started at the Daily Caller working for a guy named two guys, working for a guy named Tucker Carlson and working for a guy named Neil Patel. Love both those guys. They gave me, I was there for 7 years. Two of the coolest guys you will ever meet in your life. And now I work at Outkick, which you can see right there. So if you haven't checked out Outkick, give that a check out too. But, so yeah, I've been in journalism for 11 years now because I started in college. So I think about 11 years I've been doing journalism. If McRaven is in charge, what do you think his strategy would be for Maduro? I don't have a super high opinion of McRaven. That's probably a video for another time. I don't have an answer to that. McChrystal would be the guy you'd want in charge. That dude was getting after it in the GWAT, and he was letting the guys go to work 100%. They're saying Tucker. Yeah, Tucker Carlson, the Tucker you're thinking of. That is who I'm referring to. So, yes, my first boss in post-college, the very first person I ever worked with or worked for, he owned the company, was Tucker Carlson. We've been close ever since. I could do a whole live stream on stories just about that, but I won't because there are some stories between friends you just don't talk about that involve a lot of other famous people. There have been stories over the years that I still laugh about when I think about. I mean, I was very young, had moved out here, and it was pure anarchy, to say the least. Some of the most fun times of my life, for sure. But when you're young, you're willing to get a bit crazy. We worked very hard. We got a bit crazy for sure. All right. I'm a DJ, and parties I've done, there have been people out of these world right in the middle of the fiesta. So sad. I lost clients because of drugs. Well, I pray for your losses. I pray for your friends who were lost. It is very it's very unfortunate. There's just no other way to sum it up. It's just tragic, and it needs to end. And the only way it's going to end is when you take these criminals and these thugs and these scumbags and these drug pushers and you put them out of business forever. Whether you do that with handcuffs or you do that with a Hellfire missile, I'm open for either or, one or the other, but it's got to be done. All right, let's see what we got here. So he says, first guy, big name he worked with was Larry King. I did the CNN thing, but I've worked with every network. I have a good friend over at CNN right now who's crushing it. Do you think Venezuela would fire missiles at the U.S.? No, because their missiles can't reach the U.S. They could hit our ships, and if they hit our ships, that'll be the last thing Maduro ever does. But no, they do not have missiles that can get to Puerto Rico or Florida. Their missiles they don't have that capability. That's not a capability in the Venezuelan arsenal. Oh, this is a very nice comment. Always appreciate your time, hard work, dedication, and always factual statements, no matter what the news is. Truly respect, integrity, and confidence. When I see you post or go live, I automatically watch. Diane, may God save the USA. Thank you very much. That was a very, very, very nice comment. I appreciate that. It's nice to know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing. I need to send you something on Instagram. $2. Ping me on Instagram, and if the DMs are locked, I'll try to open them up, and then you can send whatever you got. Guys, my DMs are open on Instagram. If you have a good tip or something, there's information you want me to know, please, 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 please reach out on Instagram. I really appreciate it. Every tip you guys send helps. So I will end the poll. So 92% of you after 500 votes said America would beat China in a war. All right, what else we got here? Do you think Venezuela will fire missiles at Trinidad and Tobago? Their missiles could hit Trinidad and Tobago, for sure. I mean, you're talking about a gap of 7 miles at the closest point, right? There's people in the world who could swim that. If they do, because we have I believe part of the reason we put a military presence in Trinidad and Tobago was to make sure Trinidad and Tobago was protected, because then by firing on Trinidad and Tobago, you're really also firing on the United States of America. And if you fire on the United States of America, again, that'll be the last thing Maduro ever does. We will be dropping GBU-57 bunker busters on any building we think he might be in. I appreciate your ability to synthesize all the military activity across the world. I imagine the president's brief is based on your videos. I don't know if the president's brief is, but I got a good chuckle out of that. Sorry I joined late. Have you given an update on the MV Ocean Trader? I did, but I'll give you another one because you got here late. It was last seen on November 11th. We do not know where it is now. It has disappeared for about a month. Right before it was last seen, a bunch of tier 1 operators flew to Puerto Rico and presumably got on it and then disappeared and left. Where did they go? I have no idea. Not a clue. So that is the update. It is gone. It has been gone for about a month. We don't know anything past that. So that is where we are at. I will update you on the MV Ocean Trader when I know more, but that is where we are at right now. Can the MV Ocean Trader refuel at sea? I know it can go 45 days without any resupply of any kind. I would assume it could refuel at sea. It'd be kind of dumb to have a ship like that you could not refuel at sea. I know most Navy ships can refuel at sea. I don't know. I can't imagine they would have ever gotten that ship if they couldn't. All right, $2, Travis Walton. I sent the tip to your Instagram. Checking now. Hold on. All right, I can't read that out on air because of some of the content will get the video taken down. That is a good tip to know. I'll look into that. If what you're saying is true, Maduro absolutely then deserves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, to be taken out. I'm a Marylander living close to bases and other government agencies. It's awesome to see the strength the U.S. has. Keep up the great work, David. Be safe. Brian Schneider, $5. Thank you very much, Brian. Yeah, dude, the amount of military power this country has is second to none. There is no other country in the world that can come close to what we can bring to the battlefield. We got another $10 from James. Guys, do you have any? I'm humbled by the support. I truly am humbled by the support. I do this because I love it. I love hanging out with you on Tuesday nights. I tell my fiance, hey, watch some reality TV, watch whatever you enjoy watching, read. She loves reading books. She's a huge book reader. I'm going to come hang out with everyone for a couple hours. So we have a little bit of alone time as she enjoys her books. Dusty the dog generally stays out of the studio with her. So I enjoy doing this with you guys. It makes me so unbelievably happy to know that you guys love doing this with me as well. It makes it worth it. All right, what do we got here? It says no foreign forces would ever be able to conquer the U.S. at our border. Sun Tzu teaches that you decide and conquer. Our most dangerous enemies come from within. Well, listen, if someone tried to invade the United States, let's just say for a minute, the U.S. military collapsed. The U.S. military doesn't exist anymore. And China tries to land troops in the U.S., or Russia tries to land troops. Where are they going to have to try to land troops from? Russia's probably going to have to try to land them in Alaska. How many people in Alaska have guns? All of them? If China tries to land, what is the mainland of the United States going to do? You're going to see dudes pulling every shotgun, rifle, and pistol they have out of storage, loading them all up, getting all their gear on. It would be a turkey shoot. You're going to have to fight, let's just say only 50 million Americans took up guns and fought. You're going to really try to invade the United States and fight 50 million armed Americans. And this is if the military has failed, which it won't, but let's just say for the sake of argument, it did. You got no chance. You got absolutely no chance whatsoever. So yes, they would get crushed. It would be Red Dawn. It would be Red Dawn without question. Are we going to go members only? Yeah, we'll probably do 8 more minutes, and then I'm going to try to, at the 2-hour mark, I'm going to switch for members only. We'll do 10 to 15 minutes of the members only stream. So if you want to join that, you got to become a member. I believe the cheapest level is like $7. That way, I always said the Tuesday night lives will stay for everyone, but I need to test this members only. So we will try to test it here. If I screw it up and fuck it up, I apologize, but I'm doing my best here. I'm learning this just as much as you can. So at the 2-hour mark, we're going to go members only for whoever wants to hang out. And we'll talk about literally whatever you guys want to. It says Alaska armed to the teeth. Absolutely, they're armed to the teeth. All right. So it says to invade let's talk a little bit about an invasion of the U.S. If you guys can see, I got Red Dawn over there. I got Red Dawn right here. Red Dawn, the 1984 version, is my favorite movie that's ever been made. So to invade the U.S. will be really hard. The Pacific and Atlantic Oceans is our greatest asset. So yeah, let me guys know in the chat, how do you think a country trying to invade the United States would go? What do we got here? What do we got? Yeah, we got Wolverines. We got Wolverines, absolutely. 50 million Wolverines. Said Russia would be riding bears so fast out of Alaska. $2, Mency. Thank you very much. We got Wolverines. They better use nukes. Bad for them. All right, what do we got? Red Dawn 84 was the only one worth watching. That is true. The Red Dawn they remade was absolute trash. You know, the Red Dawn remake was actually supposed to be the Chinese, and then the Chinese didn't want to do it. Or sorry, the Chinese wouldn't let the movie come into their country, so they changed it at the last minute to North Korea, and it made no sense whatsoever, and it was a terrible movie. But the original 1984 version, I enjoy having a couple Coors Banquets, throwing that on after the fiance's gone to sleep, and dude, the first 10 minutes of that movie never gets old. I think Texas could whoop China, just Texas. You're probably right. All right, what do we got? Oh, I just saw one I wanted to put up. I missed it. Damn it. My bad, guys. We got a new member, Eugene Eunice 893. If I mispronounce your names, guys, it's never on purpose. They would never make it off the beaches. All right, guys, we're going members only in 4 minutes. We're going to do a little short members only in 4 minutes. So you can hit join under the video in the video description if you want. This will get you access to actually, let me make sure I can get this set up for you guys so that I don't accidentally kick a bunch of you out, which is not at all what I want to do. So let me make sure this is ready to go. I want to make sure that this is correct. Give me a second here. All right, so no matter what level of membership you are, you should be able. All right, so guys, I'm going to try to go members only here. I don't know if this will work because right now I think you got to be in Hookstead's vault. I just submitted it, but I'm going to try. If this goes wrong, I apologize. It says Hyper from Russia could hit the Ford. Could it? Absolutely, it could. And if they do that again, that'll be the last you ever hear of them. So it says, I'm pretty sure the civilian population with our firearms are actually larger than the military, minus the fighter jets, bombers, and missiles. Well, yeah, obviously there's more civilians than there are. So that is true. That is 100% true. So I am going to try to make sure that I can get this correct. I don't know if it's going to let Hookstead's bunkers in. I think it might just go Hookstead's vault, but I just tried to do it. If this works, and I hope it does, we will get the members only here started shortly. If it doesn't work, I apologize. I'm just learning this, but that's what I think we're going to do moving forward. We'll do 2 hours for everybody, and then we'll go members only so that the members then can get some questions in. We would fight with everything we have. Yes. Okay. This is a good one. That'll be taking some time out of our wonderful discussions. We just had Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day 2 days ago, Sunday, December 7th. I'm going to try to make sure. So let us remember all those veterans who gave so much. Absolutely. Remember all the veterans who gave so much. And on top of that, don't just remember the veterans, really remember the people who fought and never made it home. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Panama, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. Remember them all. We have a duty as Americans to remember everyone who didn't make it home because they signed up, they made the ultimate sacrifice, and all we can do as Americans is honor their memory and honor their legacy. So we got about another minute here. Then we're going to go members only. So if you got last super chats or you want to sign up for a membership quickly, please do. Guys, if this doesn't work, I will have it figured out by next Tuesday. I promise. Please just, I'm doing my best here, doing my absolute best. So a little bit of grace would be appreciated. It says one of the ways of remembering it every year is watching the movie Tora Tora and the original Charlton Heston Midway movie. Yes, the great suggestions, absolutely great suggestions. And yes, the Pearl Harbor with Ben Affleck is a good movie once the shooting starts. It is a terrible movie other than the action scenes. All right, we're at the 2-hour mark. So I'm going to try this. To everyone who's not a member, please do sign up. I appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the like button on this video. Get it out there. All right, I'm going to try to get this to members only right now. We are going to see how this goes. I don't know if this is going to work. Stay with me here. And we're going to see. I'm trying to get it loaded right now. YouTube is taking its sweet, sweet time. All righty. Give me 1 second. All right. We're going. Done. Save. All right. I just tried to switch it over. Is this still working? We got anyone here? All right, did this work? Do we got anyone here? Let me make sure that we got the video here still. Let me see if I can drop the video in the chat. All right, so you guys are still here. So the members are still here. So, okay, cool. So you guys are able to get in. All right, perfect. All right, so we're going to do, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes of this. I'm going to get a timer going. This is for you guys as the members of the channel. You guys don't have to worry about super chats, any of that stuff. You're already signed up as a member. So this is time for the members of the channel to just talk about whatever we want to talk about. So I'm going to turn the floor to you guys. Fire away in the chat, and we will talk about whatever you guys put in the chat. It's getting answered because you guys are members. I love that. Thank you for being here at the start of the members journey. All right, we got Wisconsin guy 461. Wisconsin alone has 6,000 deer hunters alone, not to mention the people in the cities now add all the hunters in the other states. Great comment. 1,000% true. I'm from Wisconsin, as you can see, and I know you're from Wisconsin. I grew up hunting. We had deer hunting rifles. We had AR-15s. We had too many shotguns to count. We had pistols, you name it. We had access to them. Where I live now, the gun laws are absolutely pathetic and horrendous, and I hate it, but that is what it is. So yes, dude, deer hunters would absolutely destroy. Wisconsin guy, you are here. You're on the screen. I got you on the screen right now. Deer hunters would be the worst nightmare for any invading army, because as soon as they realized what they were up against, they would piss their pants in fear and run the hell away. Dr. Hook with the famous medicine show. No, I am not. I am not Dr. Hook from the famous medicine show. Very funny though. Do I think Israel will share intelligence with the U.S. against Venezuela? I absolutely think they will. Absolutely think they will. This is funny. Now that the Russian trolls are gone, do we get the real news? I feel like I've been bringing you the real news the whole time. I feel like I've done a very nice job of bringing you guys the news as well as I see it. If you guys want me to talk about something that maybe I should, please let me know. But we got some crazy people in the comments when it's not members only. So from Wisconsin also. Oh, where are you from in Wisconsin? Let me know. AZ is the same way. Oh, Arizona is loaded with guns. loaded with guns. They would be great against an invading force as well. You think Trump will order F-22 Raptors and F-35s to escort into Venezuela and Mundo and Marina Corina? I don't know if that'd be necessary, because if the government falls, we don't really need stealth fighters escorting in. I mean, she could come in on a military transport plane. Maybe you'd have escorts for that. But if the government falls, the government falls. I mean, they could bring her on a boat. They could just land her at a port in Caracas and she could walk right off. But they probably secure, I mean, not probably, they would secure an airport, and they would go from there and figure out what they're going to do. So let me go to the next one. Ohio here. I eat deer regularly. Dude, deer venison is the best meat ever. I ate it almost every day growing up. My dad was an exceptional deer hunter. Do you guys want to see my dad's deer hunting wall? I will show you a photo of my dad's deer hunting wall. Give me a second here. Download the photo. See, this is what the members only chat gets. This is, or the members only live stream. This is my dad's deer hunting wall. So those are the bucks. Some of the bucks my dad has killed. You can see them all right there. Monster bucks. So yes, I love deer meat. My dad was very good at killing it. Guns are absolutely, even if they made it, the enemy made it as far as northern Idaho. I know one particular friend of mine, a Marine Corps veteran, whose entire house is an arsenal. Yeah, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. In Mississippi, we have a ton of deer hunters. Speaking of myself, love it. I've actually, truthfully, I've never shot a deer. I've been deer hunting a bunch when I was much, much younger, when I lived in Wisconsin. Never got one, but as you can see on the screen, my dad has a lot of them. Tonight's the night, maybe. I don't know. We're early in the week. I think they might wait until the markets are closed. This is the first channel I watch every day after work and on lunch. Thank you very much for the updated news, David. Travel and Tramps is from Bayfield, way up north. Damn, I assume you're talking about my dad's deer. Yeah, the dude is an absolutely insanely talented hunter. Great as always, David. See you next week. Robert, thank you for watching. All right, I used to work in Winchester, Virginia, and a coworker would bring in deer bologna. I've never had deer bologna, but I'm now desperate to try it. You think it is a good idea to have a law across 50 states to concealed carry legally? I am 1,000% for concealed carry. I am 1,000% for concealed carry national reciprocity. You don't need to convince me anymore. I'm all for it. I believe in it. I can't do it, unfortunately, right now. Where I currently am, I had a concealed carry permit for a long time. So yes, I believe 100% in concealed carry, and I believe that people should be allowed to do it wherever they live. This is America. What area of Wisconsin did he hunt? Mostly the southern part of the state and the central part of the state. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you the exact area because I don't need everyone watching this. I don't need everyone watching this finding his deer hunting locations. Any thoughts on the timing of the attack relative to Admiral Halsey's retirement? Yeah, it's pretty obvious Admiral Halsey retired because he wasn't happy with the attacks. And if he's not on board, then he is free to leave. He is absolutely 100% free to leave. All right, keep the comments coming. This is members only. So the floor is your guys. The members only time is for you guys. Hold on one second. Man, that destroyer being within cell phone range is wild. Yeah, let me see if I can find that video for you guys. And I appreciate you all when we got off to some rough starts here at the start of the episode with I found the video. Hang tight. We had some tech issues and you guys stuck it out. That means the world. All right, this is the video. It's probably going to be a little tough to see, but this is the video. And you can kind of see it right there out in the water. So it's so close to Venezuela, you can literally see it in the coast. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild that that's how close it is. All right. You guys are coming in with a lot of stuff. Maria is waiting. That's right. She is waiting. Wonder if we have submarines in the Gulf of Venezuela. We could, but we don't really need them in the Gulf of Venezuela because they're within striking distance, hundreds of miles away. Again, the submarine, I think the USS Georgia that hit Iran was 400 miles away. They launched their missiles from 400 miles away. So they don't even need to be 20 kilometers away. They can be 200 miles away. They can be by Puerto Rico. I'm for constitutional carry. If you're allowed to have a gun, you should be allowed to carry it. End of story. If you are not a criminal and you want to carry a gun, you should be 100% allowed to carry a gun. I have no problems with it at all. I support it 100%. Oh, this is funny. Beautiful country. I wonder how quickly Royal Caribbean will make a new Cuba-Venezuela itinerary. That's funny. Dude, I would love to visit Venezuela. Not now. Obviously, they'd probably kill me if I tried to go because I am here advocating for the truth. And I'm sure the Maduro regime is no fan of mine. Hunted in Fort McCoy regularly. Oh, good old Fort McCoy. That's bringing back memories. I didn't serve there, but Fort McCoy, for those of you who don't know, in Wisconsin, is a big, big deal. Oh, I don't know. Did I miss this? Oh, I feel bad. Someone just sent me a super chat that wasn't a member. I'm going to read it to you guys. I hate when someone might waste their money, but no, it might have been a repeat. That's my bad. I hate when someone sends the money and feel like they didn't get what they wanted out of it. Says, I'm sure we have at least one sub. We do. We have subs in the Caribbean. There are subs in the Caribbean for sure. Obviously, their locations are not public. They don't put them on the maps. They don't disclose their locations. Says the boat, obviously the USS Gettysburg, is soaking up all the radio communication. It's so close, especially with the Aegis system, to be gathering all the intel. So yeah, great point. Like that is why that boat is there. That is why that exists. So 1000% accurate. So guys, I want to ask, when I switched over to members only, can people let me know? Someone wants to know, is the airspace still empty in Venezuela? There's a plane kind of off the coast, and there's one plane that is coming from Cuba. So Cuba is landing a plane currently in Venezuela. I'll show that on the screen real quick. So this plane is coming from Cuba. That appear, and there's this tiny, I think, private jet that's taking off from Caracas. All right, guys, let me know in the comments when I switched over to members only for this portion of the live stream, what did it say? Was it a smooth transition? Did you get a notification? How did that work? Someone let me know, just so I know what it looks like on your end and I can make it smooth as possible going forward. They're saying Maduro hit squad from Cuba, LOL, JK. Okay, it was smooth, nothing happened. Smooth as glass. Smooth transition. All right. Well, I'm going to do 3 more minutes. No, we got 2 more minutes, and then I got to jump. So do you guys like at the end? Let me know in the comments, because this time is the time for you guys. Do you like going to members only at the very end? Do you like how members only, we can kind of keep this between us, do a little recap with everyone? Let me know if you like kind of going. We do the full 2 hours with everyone, and then we go to the members only for a little bit of exclusive time. You guys like it? All right, cool. Are you talking about the gun ban? The Glock ban? The Glock ban is beyond idiotic. Beyond idiotic. It's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Newsom is a terrible governor. He is an idiot. And I can't stand that guy. He's a snake. If he becomes president, we are in huge, huge, huge trouble. All right. It's really nice idea as a treat. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is there a day where we could get a 30 or 45-minute membership live? Yes, that is in the plans. That is in the plans. The thing is, we're still growing this. We're still growing the membership stuff out. So I kind of got to wait until we hit a little bit of a critical mass, if you will, because we just got to get enough numbers so YouTube doesn't crush it. The reason we did it this way is so that YouTube doesn't crush the video. We go members only at the end. YouTube knows it's a good stream. If we only have a couple members in, or a handful, a few dozen members in, or 100 members in, YouTube's not going to particularly like that. But yes, I want to start doing those on Thursdays, where we do a quick kind of bro hour, guys get together like we're sitting around a campfire. That's the members only stream, but we just have to wait a little bit for more people to come in. So that was the alarm. If anyone has any final questions or anything, let me know right now. Please keep us updated on the Venezuela situation tonight. Feels like something big is coming. I will always keep you guys updated. We'll have videos right again tomorrow, as you know. Guys, I love you guys so much. I appreciate the fact you're members. I appreciate the fact that you come in here, you spend your time with me. It means the world to me. So thank you very much. That is it for me. And I will see you all next time. You guys have a great night. Please keep watching the videos. Thanks for being members. You guys are the best. You have a great, great rest of your night.